You're listening to the Begin Within Health Show with Nate Slager. For more, go to beginwithin.fit/podcast, or to enroll right now in our flagship coaching program, go to beginwithin.fit/coaching. Hey, welcome back to the Begin Within Health Show. This is fitness and nutrition expert Nate Slager. I'm your host, and I've got a little bit of a somber episode for you today, but I promise it will be worth it. Some of you may be wondering where I was last week. For the very first time in over 2 years, I didn't publish an episode, and I will tell you a little bit about why that is and have some big, healthy takeaways for you. Unfortunately, after over a year and a half of battling pancreatic cancer, my mom passed away last week. And even though I had interviews in the bank, guests that I have talked with over the last couple months, they were ready to go, ready to publish. It just didn't feel right. It didn't feel right for me to do that with enough members of my community, clients, friends, family. They all knew what was going on in my life. And even though the process is automated and the conversations happened a while prior, it just didn't feel right to me to put that out and have that pop into somebody's notifications that Nate Slager just published a new podcast, when the reality was that I was spending the last few days that I could with my mom before she passed away. So that's why you didn't hear from me. And what I would love to do today is, and by the way, I don't want to seem like I'm taking this very lightly now to come back here a week later and do a full show about the lessons that I learned from spending that time with my mom. But I want you to know where I'm coming from, and for my family, to be totally honest, we went through a lot, and my mom went through a lot, and for that suffering, for that pain now to be over, has brought with it a sense of relief, probably a bigger sense of relief than I could have imagined. And also along with that is just this feeling of being so proud of her and proud of my father as well. They were a great team for over 45 years, and especially at the very end of their marriage, they were a great team battling this disease together. And for me to have seen that, to watch that, to be able to support them through that, leaving it now, I have just this such a feeling of being proud of them. So the relief and the being proud of them, those together are, right now anyway, just absolutely eclipsing any grief that I am also feeling, right? That's there, but it's so far in the background of those very powerful, positive emotions. And so that's what I'm experiencing. And so, again, even though I have things recorded, we've got things in the bank, they're just sitting there, these conversations, these interviews that are going to be, I'm going to make them available to you in the weeks to come. I think that it's important for me to just sit down, and maybe this is part of the process for me. You psychiatrists that are listening, you can tell me if this is part of the grief process for me is to sit down and talk about this, and to have you benefit from it. Great. So I'm going to do the best I can to hold it together and to encapsulate for you some of the biggest lessons that I'm taking away from this process. Having been through it with my parents, going to many of the appointments and procedures and surgeries and treatments, I can tell you that I learned some really powerful things and I want to share those with you. But first, before I share those three things, I'm going to try to boil it down to three. Maybe over time I'll have some more things to share with you. But the first thing I want to do is share with you three things that my mom shared with me in just the last few weeks, which when I was with her, I spent a little time with her every single week. Tried to, I don't live too far away from them, so for me to be able to take a few days every week and be with them was not too big of a deal for me. So I was able to do that, and while I was with her, I would always ask her, "What what are you learning through this process now? Like, what what is this perspective doing for you? What is it giving you?" And I wanted her to share that with me because obviously I've never been in the place that she's been when it came to facing the end of her life and seeing it coming and feeling it getting closer. And I realized that she probably had a lot of wisdom to share. So I would ask her, what do you have for me? What words of wisdom do you have for me? And she brought it. She really brought it. She really put a lot of effort into um, drawing conclusions and boiling things down and wanting to give me some value. And I love her for that. And I want to pass that on to you if that's okay. So here are three of the things that she told me. I'm just going to share these three with you, give you my perspective on them a little bit. Hopefully I won't get too long-winded today, but I think that you'll indulge me a little bit with this one, if you don't mind. So here are three little quotes from my mom that she shared with me that are going to stay with me. Man, believe it. I have these written down. I'm going to save these. I'm going to think about them. And I'll make sure that, to the best of my ability, I reflect my understanding of them in my life going forward. So here they are. The first one is this: people give up too quickly on things they say are important. People give up too quickly on things they say are important. I think that stands all by itself. I think you understand exactly what she meant by that. At least I do. When I hear that, for me, it's all about the things I'm saying are important to me. Are they really important? Are they reflected in my life as being important? And are they so important? If I really say they're important, are they so important that I'm not going to just quickly give up on them? I'm not going to just quickly change gears when things get a little bit tough. And I'll tell you this, she said that in the context of relationships. So people give up too quickly on things they say are important. Words of wisdom for you and me. And I think we're here on the Begin Within Health show. You're listening to it because for us, our health is important, right? And that's, outside of whatever circumstances we're dealing with, even if it's a chronic or terminal disease, there's still health available to us. There's still energy available to us. There's still benefits available to us by making the healthiest decisions that we can. We say it's important to us. Let's make sure that we don't give up on it if it's really important to us. We don't want to be people that give up quickly on things we say are important, right? Here's the second one. Being busy is the best part of life. And along with that, don't be in a hurry to do nothing. Those two are connected. But I remember her saying that she was in the hospital at the time, and people were visiting her, and they were just talking, spending time with her, and she remarked to me that she noticed that they were complaining about how busy they were. to her. And she didn't hold that against them. She totally understood. She even admitted that's how she was for so much of her life. But she said being busy is the best part of life. People we're always in such a hurry to do nothing. Whether it be vacation, I just can't wait. I'm in a hurry to get to the beach and just sit there. I'm in a hurry to get to the weekend so I can just sit. I'm in a hurry to do nothing. Being busy is the best part of life. Let's not forget that. Being busy is beautiful. Being busy is a blessing. Being busy is the best part of life. That is life. Being busy is what it's all about. So, next time you're feeling a little overwhelmed, you're feeling a little busy, just remember that. Being busy is the best part of life. And live it. And I'm going to do the best I can as well to do that going forward, to realize that being busy is the blessing. Being busy is the best part of life. If you got reasons to be busy, then you're doing pretty well. So keep up the good work. Here's the third one. And this is the one that, as a family, we have repeated this past couple of weeks and just kind of cherished it. And it's this: people are your tapestry. Fill your life with people. She said that. That was one of the last times that I was picking her brain, and I was, hey mom, what wisdom do you have for me? And that was, she paused and she thought about that one, and then she said that. And people are your tapestry, which is interesting. We use that word tapestry as a metaphor in different ways in our culture. And to me, it's your legacy. It's what you leave behind. I was just doing some reading about a tapestry, like where did this all get started? And apparently, according to one source, a tapestry, the woven tapestry of a story on a cloth. It got started when nobles would commission those to be made in order to commemorate important events in their life, such as perhaps a battle being won or something like that. That was where it got started, this idea of a tapestry, kind of telling a story, and that was a legacy. The tapestry outlived the individual who commissioned it to be made, so that future people could see it and learn and commemorate and be reminded of that big event. Well, I think I know what my mom meant. People are your tapestry. People. What are the things that are going to be on your tapestry? That metaphor for you. It's going to be people. People are the most important thing to put on there. So keeping that in mind is so, so important for us. It's all about people. Fill your life with people. Yes, sometimes they're inconvenient. Yes, sometimes they're annoying. They irritate us. But that's what it's all about. It's all about people. It's all about connection. So we talk about that on the show, that connection, that ability that we have to influence others and be influenced by others. It's a beautiful thing. That's what life's all about, according to my mom and her words of wisdom. So there are the three. People give up too quickly on things they say are important. Being busy is the best part of life, and people are your tapestry. Those are three little tidbits, little pieces of wisdom that I wanted to share with you. Things that I took from my mom in her last few weeks with me. So thanks for letting me share that with you. I really appreciate it. I'd love to get your feedback. Of course, I'm at Nate Slager on social media, and the whole idea is to be able to have the best quality of life that we can, right? And I think those little words of wisdom will help us to do that. Speaking of quality of life, I wanted to just share three quick things that I learned through this process. These just personally, things that have helped me to have a healthier perspective on life, on the health show here. So I'll share these with you again. This for my mom. This was a long battle as far as pancreatic cancer goes. She was very, very fortunate to be diagnosed and still have a year and a half with us. And um, if you know someone, friends or family who have dealt with that specific disease, you know that a year and a half is long. And I've reflected on the fact that at the beginning, if we had known, hey, you got a year and a half, I think we would have thought, wow, that's great. A whole year and a half left. But of course we didn't. It was always like, oh, maybe about 6 months. Maybe a few more months. So it certainly didn't feel like as long as it sounds, but really it's not long, right? When you're dealing with losing your mom when she's 63. So, um, what I took away during that time though of being part of the process with my parents, and seeing her go through treatment and being at so many of the appointments with her oncologist, who was absolutely awesome, a tender doctor, just a good man, um, was that quality of life was what it was all about, right? It's true that her disease was being treated, right? She was sick and being cared for. That was what health was for her at that time, but it was about trying to get her the best quality of life that she possibly could have, given the circumstances that she was dealing with. And it gave me a new perspective on health for you and for me, for people that maybe for as far as we know, we're quote unquote healthy individuals. We might go to the doctor and they do our labs and say, hey, yeah, you're healthy, right? It's still about quality of life. The decisions we make, the things that we're trying to do to improve our health, the things that we talk about here on this show, the things that we learn from the experts that I interview, it's all about trying to improve the quality of our current lives, to feel better, to be better, to have more energy, for our bodies to work more optimally. It's about quality of life for all of us, given whatever set of circumstances that we might have, right? Whatever hand we're dealt, we're trying to play those cards the best we can, and that is about having the best quality of life possible. And so that should inform the decisions that we make, the things that we do, the workouts that we do, the foods that we eat, right? It might be quote unquote good for us, healthy for us, but is it really improving the quality of my life? If I've got to wake up at 4 in the morning, only having had 5 or 6 hours of sleep in order to get my workout in and then go beat myself up at the start of the day, with some high intensity training or something, and I'm like, this is good. I have to stop and ask, is that really improving the quality of my life? Or might there be some other areas that are more important for me to give some attention to? Quality of life. So use that pursuit or that perspective on health to inform the decisions that you make. Is this really improving the quality of my life now and in the future? Because if both of those boxes are checked, then you know you're on the right track. Absolutely. Quality of life with whatever circumstances you have handed to you, right? Through genetics or circumstance, whatever. It's about having the best quality of life we can. And that is something that we believe we have some control over. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here, right? We wouldn't be listening to this show. We know that the decisions we make are going to impact the quality of our life and our health. So that's something that I learned through the process. Here's something else. Follow the clues. Follow the clues. When you know you don't have much time left, I think you become very, very in tune to how the decisions you're making are uh, making you feel, right? I ate this and now I'm having trouble digesting it, right? You become very, very in tune to that. Oh, you know what? I ate right before I went to bed, and I didn't sleep well last night, right? When you know that the number of nights of sleep are are limited, you get very, very in tune. And I know for my mom, she did. My dad, when it came to her situation, they're very, very in tune to how the things that they were doing were impacting how she was feeling. So they're always looking for the clues. This is something I know I've talked about on this show before. But for all of us, follow the clues. How are you feeling? How did you sleep? How did you feel during that workout? How are you feeling at 2 p.m.? Follow the clues in life. If you're not feeling as well as you know you could, then there's something you can do. There's always something you can do to improve how you're feeling, how you're sleeping, how your workouts are going. And maybe it's changing your mattress. Maybe it's changing your workout. Maybe it's something big. Maybe it's something small. Maybe it's just cracking the window in the bedroom at night. Or maybe it's getting a workout buddy or a coach or personal trainer, something like that. A little change that is going to make a big difference for you. So follow the clues. If it's not working, make a change. And again, the pursuit of a better quality life is where we're headed. So is that where I'm going? So quality of life was the first lesson I learned. Second, I know that might sound a little silly, but I hope that you see it from this different perspective for me, that it's all about improving the quality of our life, not just doing what someone told us is good for us. And then secondly, realize that your body is giving you clues along the way to tell you if the decisions you're making, the inputs, the foods you're eating, if they are leading you on the right track. So if you're feeling really good, don't take that for granted. Realize there's something you're doing that is leading you to feel good. And if you're not feeling good, then there's something that can be changed to help you to feel better. So follow the clues. And then the last one, this will be no surprise to you at all. It has to do with connection. We talk about this on the show. This is one of the 6 pillars of health that my interviews with health experts have led me to realize. There are just 6 of them, and there's a big one called connection, and it might be the one that we most often overlook. We've talked about it here before. We've talked about it with nature. We've talked about it with grounding. We've talked about it with watching the sunrise and sunset and getting a breath of fresh air outside, getting into the woods, touching trees, whatever, right? That's connection. But probably the easier, more accessible, the one that has a bigger influence on your life is the connection with other people. And I want to tell you that a lot of you listening have a mom. You have a mom that's still with us. And I'll tell you from my perspective now, this last couple of weeks and losing mine, that it's a blessing. It's a blessing to have her. There's no one that's going to see you the way that she does. And as I look back, the time I was able to spend with mine, the open conversations that we've had, the love that we shared back and forth, the hugs, the I love yous, that where I'm sitting right now, I don't have any regrets. And I think that's a big part of what I was telling you earlier about feeling better than I expected on the other end of my mom's passing away, because I don't have any regrets. And I want the same thing for you. So you know, we have a lot of relationships. People are your tapestry, right? That's a lot of people. It's a lot to say. I want you to have open, sincere dialogue with all of them and tell them how much you appreciate them and tell them how much you love them. But I'm not going to tell you that today. Today I'm going to tell you that if you are fortunate enough to have a mom, start there. Start there. Something that I have appreciated is that when you know time is running out, it changes the way you behave. It changes the way you talk to each other. It changes the things you say. But I think that's kind of unnecessary. It doesn't have to. Because for a lot of people, someday will be the last time they see their mom, and they don't even know it when they have those last goodbyes, those I love yous or whatever it is, and that'll be it. So why wait? Why wait until the end? Why save anything up as though like, no, I really do love her, but I'm not going to tell her just yet how I feel. I'll wait until the end is imminent. I think that's baloney. So call her, go see her, visit her, tell her how you feel. If you're fortunate enough to have a mom, do it. The connection and the reward that you get from that relationship is going to help you so much. It's going to be so powerful. And when it comes to moms, there's probably no one that is going to respond as readily, not question your motives, or anything. They're just going to accept your appreciation and your love when you give it to them. So do me a favor. Do yourself a favor, do your mom a favor, and reach out to her and tell her how you feel. Tell her how much you appreciate her. Tell her the things you want to tell her. Make her life better while you still are sharing the blessing of life together. Make her life better by having you in it. Don't wait. Share it now. Connect now. It's part of health. It's part of good health to have good, meaningful connections. So get to work. And that's your assignment for today. An action step is reach out to your mom and tell her how much you love her. I know this was a little bit of a deviation from the normal format of the show. I want to thank you so much for indulging me, for listening here all the way to the end of the episode. If you would be so kind to share the show on social media, you can just click the share button from your podcast player and reach out. I would love to know if there's something from this episode that really resonated with you. Feel free to reach out to me on social media at Nate Slegger. I'll talk with you again soon here on the Begin Within Health Show.